Hi. Now, after the Ukrainian attack using American missiles deep inside the Russian territory, to be very precise, in Bryansk region of Russia, and if I'm not wrong, it is in north of Russia. Now, Russia has changed its nuclear doctrine. Now, any nuclear powered country, let it be India or United States or Russia, all have their own nuclear doctrine. Like India is having no first use doctrine. Similarly, Russia was having a nuclear doctrine that if there is a war with a non-nuclear state, then Russia is not going to use its nuclear arsenal against that state. Now they have now replaced it with a new doctrine that if a non-nuclear state is being supported or backed by nuclear state, then they can use it even against that state, the nuclear power. So in this case, we are talking about Ukraine, and Ukraine is backed by not just by one nuclear power country, but by three, that is America, Germany, France, and United Kingdom. So officially now Russia has changed its nuclear doctrine, and there is a widespread fear in European countries, especially the North European countries like Denmark, Sweden, Finland, and those countries who used to call themselves a garden, rest of the world as a jungle. Now they will be thinking that the rest of the world is a garden and Europe is a jungle. So much so that these countries have actually given tips to their citizens that what they should do or what they should not do. They should have some food and medicine and water, all those things in their houses. So things are not going good, and I think during this transition period in the last days of Mr. Joe Biden, he and his administration, which is a very much neocon administration, will do their best to actually make sure that Ukraine uses everything possible so that he can derail the possibility of Donald Trump making some headway for peace, which he is talking about, and making things very difficult for him. But if we see what may happen after the change of this doctrine, then I think still Putin will have some restraints, because he is a man of restraint. We have seen in these 1000 days of Ukrainian war, but he will, I think, intensify attacks on Ukraine, and finally, before Trump comes to Oval Office, Ukraine might be shattered, fully shattered, and now one may argue on a point that it's when Russian missiles or Russian jets can bombard through within Ukraine, then why can't Ukraine do it? The issue is not of Ukraine right now. Issue is these ATACMS missiles. These ATACMS missiles cannot be operated by Ukrainians. Definitely they are being operated by soldiers or people of United States of America. So those people are on the ground. Similarly, if you talk about those scalp missiles or shadows, well, Germany and France France has said that they are having strategic ambiguity, and they are not saying right now that whether they will allow Ukrainians to use their missiles in order to target Russia or deep inside or not. But to be very precise, they are not very autonomous in this regard, because let it be Storm Shadows or let it be the French missiles, these missiles, scalp missiles, these are also having United States components in them. So the final decision whether to allow or not will be taken by the Oval Office and White House, that is America, and I think they will take that decision as well, because I think during the last days, final days of Joe Biden, he will try his best to actually expand the war. And where can the war expand now? War can expand on multiple fronts. I don't think that until and unless there is a big attack on Russia, Putin is going to attack any of the NATO countries, but he will definitely intensify the war efforts in Ukraine. Plus, he will also arm, I think, American adversaries or American allies adversaries in the Middle East, because America is actually arming Russia's adversary. So you can think it for tat by Russia in other regions of the world. So these things are going on, but we don't know when things can escalate to the dirtiest point. If there is a huge attack by Ukrainians and those missiles go into and successfully destroy the targets, then Putin will have to take some measure in order to save his face. Even now, Putin will have to do something drastic in order to save his face. Otherwise, he will lose his prestige even on his home turf. And if you look what happened by these attack missiles, Ukraine fired 6 of them, and Russia says that the S-400 missile system destroyed 5 of them. And one was damaged, and its debris fall, and due to which there was a fire. But Kyiv Times says something else. It says that one of them actually which targeted the base or Russian military asset was successful, and they were showing a lot of fire and all those things. So S-400 actually destroyed 5 out of 6. So it is a pretty good system, but no system is a foolproof system. We have seen this thing with the Patriot, with THAAD and everything. So if Ukraine is successfully able to attack Russia via American or French or British assets, missile assets, then things may turn out very dirty.